Hey, we're the Flick Chicks. I'm Anne.
And I'm Monica, and today we are going to be reviewing Netflix's new rom-com movie called The Lovebirds, if you haven't already told by the title.
Cool.
So yeah, if you haven't heard, a movie just came out on Netflix. I feel like it didn't really get that much buzz. I haven't really heard much about it.
I mean, I think it got a lot of more buzz when they were anticipating the theater release, but then
it was supposed to be a theater release.
Yeah, it's actually, there's a huge poster in, because my mom and I had to drive to around the mall, not actually going to the mall, but around the area, and the movie theater has a huge poster of the Lovebirds and Wonder Woman. Those are the only two posters that they have up.
Interesting.
So
I guess they sold it to Netflix, and then Netflix released it.
Yeah, so I think they were anticipating to start really promoting it when it was gonna be supposed to be in theaters, but then obviously,
that honestly sucks. I mean, the movie industry kind of sucks right now. But so it came out on Netflix. It's starring Issa and what's the dude's name again?
His name is Kumail Nanjiani. Nanjiani.
No, it's definitely
Nanjiani.
Yeah, I'm reading it right now, and I'm like, are my eyes not working? Yes, Kumail Nanjiani. He's super famous. I feel like I've seen in a bunch of things, but the Big Sick,
big comedic actor and stuff like that. Yeah. Yes. So we're gonna talk about what we liked, what we didn't, and then we were supposed to have a cool little activity.
I have one.
Okay, awesome. And then
after that, I have some questions that we
question. Yeah, just the fun part, guys, and then we'll go into what grade we give the movie in the end.
Yeah. Okay,
so I guess I'll start with what I liked. So I really liked the chemistry / dynamic between Leilani and Gibran. I thought they were as actors, Issa Rae and Kumail, is that his name? Kumail. Yeah. I think they did a good job as playing their characters, and their talking was pretty organic in a way. Sometimes when people talk over each other, they're just talking, and I'm I can tell that you're not actually saying something, but each of them is having a separate conversation, and I think that's funny. I thought there was some pretty funny scenes, we literally just talked about it. The one where they were interrogating I thought that was the funniest part of the movie. I was laughing really hard because he's like, I don't know, and he's like, make yourself know, and they just
and they're and he started saying something we're gonna ask you some questions, and those questions are gonna have answers, and if there's no answers, the answer's gonna be our fist, and then she slaps him in the face.
And he's funny. Why'd you slap me? And she's slaps him again, why? Yeah. So I thought there were some funny moments. I just thought organically, if you took scene per scene, I thought it was really good, the dynamics, if I was watching clips, I'd be oh, this is a really funny clip. I think that was its biggest one of its biggest assets, if you will, as a movie. And I would say the last thing that I liked was I thought the pacing was good overall.
It's a short movie. I think it's only an hour and 20 minutes or something like that.
Oh yeah, you see, so there was no there's no dull moment. Even the first part where they had the romance montage, I was what? But then it was pretty ongoing from there. There were no dull moments. I wouldn't say that. I was never oh, what are we doing here? So the pacing was really good. I think that was also one of its biggest assets. So that's what I liked about the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think the main highlight of the movie is Issa Rae and Gibran. They were they're pretty good as the stars, and I liked how their characters I don't know. I don't know if I've seen it a lot before, because I feel usually, if you listen to our comedy movie episode from last week, we were talking about the buddy movies. Because usually you see that trope with the whole awkward stumbling around, they talk too much. You see that a lot in buddy movies. I feel you don't really see that a lot with couples. Yeah, so I thought that was interesting how they had that in common. It's an interesting thing to put on a relationship, I guess. They both have that thing in common where they just word vomit, and they're both super awkward and stuff like that.
And I feel that actually makes more sense with a couple, because a couple will start to adopt things that when you live with someone, you adopt the same mannerisms and stuff. Yeah. So it makes more sense to me that a couple would be kind of the same in that way versus two buddy cops.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't think I've ever seen that put in a couple, even though it makes more sense. So I like that. Yeah. Then the pacing was good. That's about it.
Yeah. Okay. So on to things that I didn't. I only have one, but it's a huge thing. That would be the big thing. Is the whole mystery was terrible. It was so lame. It was like there's so many things wrong with it. First of all, the reveal of the sex cult was pretty anticlimactic, if you ask me. I didn't like it. Wasn't there was no build up to that. The whole Edie part, like by the end, when you get to the end, the Edie part is completely useless. Like
literally irrelevant. Her character makes we still don't even know who she is.
Yeah,
and what her connection to this is.
And then the last part was the villain not. You know what? I'm gonna say this. This is what I'm gonna say. I was pretty upset because I think it was setting up itself up to be really good, to defy expectations, because the whole like, oh, we have the camera footage, like you guys were never in trouble. I thought that was a really good thing, because that does divert expectations. Like you're like, oh no, like, you know, POC couple, like the cops are definitely gonna blame them. That's it. Like they're done for. And then there's like the defying expectations by being like, oh, like you guys aren't in trouble, we're actually looking for somebody else, right? So I did like that, and I was really excited when I saw that part, because I was like, okay, now like they're really gonna get into the mystery, like something like I guess I thought in my head, I thought that they were gonna discover, like they were gonna be smarter and be like, yo, the cops said XYZ, but like that doesn't really make sense because I don't know, whatever we saw, right? And I thought they would kind of solve the mystery on their own a little bit, and then like somehow get away. Like I don't know. I just thought there was gonna be more than
like the whole plot. Like the main plot of the mystery is just like super lame. I think it was like super simple and like nothing really made sense.
Like the problem is it wasn't even simple enough. It was also complicated. Like I was like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
And who does he work for? Like
it was super simple, but then when he explained it at the end, I was like, whoa, hold on. Like, what are you talking about?
I was like, it was like, I don't know. It reminded me of like Now You See Me, but bad. Like, you know how in this is a very specific reference, but Now You See Me, the guy who was working with them the whole time was actually the one who planted all the spoiler. That was done well though, because it was like it made sense, like they were able to wrap it around, right? So I'm like, if you're gonna have a character reveal like it's me, I'm the bad guy this whole time, you need to like establish them
as not the bad character, because he was the bad guy from the beginning, so like okay.
So I'm like, you're not diverting expectations. It's like it just didn't make sense.
Like the reveal wasn't even that he was the bad guy. It was more like, oh, he's driving the car. That's the big reveal,
right?
That was like, exactly. Okay,
because it would be different if I thought it would be. This is what I thought, if anything, because I knew, I was like, there's no way this is the end. Like they're gonna mess up. Somebody is gonna be in the car.
Yeah,
I thought the cop that was gonna bring them somewhere was actually gonna bring them to the bad guy's house. And that would have made more sense to me, as in like, because he has like a monopoly over the cops or something. Like I feel like that would have made, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like there just wasn't a lot of thought put into the whole murder mystery plot.
No,
it didn't really make sense. I still don't get what the pictures are. I don't get how the frat boys were involved.
Also, I don't
get how Edie is involved.
This is really dumb. Is this really illegal though? Like, what's illegal about the sex cult? Because I don't understand. Is it illegal for people to just because what's the difference between that and a swingers club to me? Like,
I don't think cults are illegal unless they like kill people. I could be wrong.
Or
I'm
like
not
if
a cult
you're
expert.
Keeping people like hostage or something. But everybody seemed very
willing
willing parties, and it was just like they didn't even show the illegal part, if there is an illegal part. Like what is it?
So they didn't really explain either, like you said, like, why the cult was getting raided.
Yeah,
they didn't seem like,
because from what I understand, and this is really sad, but when sex cults happen and they're bad, it's usually because there's people who are underaged. That's usually the case, and that's gross, disgusting, but that's definitely not what they implied. So I was like, I don't get this, you know.
But I guess like I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I think they just really oversimplified the plot, or just they didn't really put much thought into it at all. I think it had like its shortcoming too, is that the movie was so short, so like they didn't have time to explain anything. I feel like I don't know, in general I feel like the plot was really one-dimensional. Like it was really like they were relying a lot on the characters rather than the actual like story.
Yes,
because there wasn't really much to the plot. I mean, they were they were just on the run. I guess they were on the run for like 2 seconds, and then they went to their friend's dinner party, and then went to the sex cult. Like I feel like it's super like, okay, the murder happened, they ran away to the diner, went to the guy's house. Like it's just like, I feel like it was just a collection of like scenes, and that's about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I was saying like the individual scenes really funny or really good, or like you're like ooh, but then when you put it all together, you're like there's definitely a lot missing. Like it's like pieces of a puzzle, but it doesn't actually make an image together. Like
exactly. The pieces fit, but then like at the end you don't really get a picture. You just get squiggles.
And I just feel, because I was just like, I don't know. I thought the movie had good bones though. Like I was like, if you pitch this idea, I'm like, sounds like a really good idea, but it just didn't deliver. Like,
that's what I'm saying. It's a good concept, and then the actors were really good. Like I like the main characters, but then you can't just forget about the other stuff too. Like if you're advertising it as like a action, like first of all, there wasn't really any action.
No.
On Netflix it's classified as a like action comedy, but it's not.
Oh really? On the internet it's just comedy romance.
Oh okay, yeah, but
which is accurate.
Yeah, it makes more sense as like a rom-com, but yeah, I don't know. It wasn't, the plot itself I think was just lacking.
Yeah.
And it was way too like, it's not like, oh, it's I feel like if it's a short movie and it's lacking, it's like, okay, well you had the opportunity to make it like longer. If you had added like an extra 20 minutes or something, you would have been fine. But yeah,
I think it's funny because like there are movies that don't need to be longer, that'll like they have a plot that doesn't need to be longer and they'll prolong it, versus this is kind of like, it's a mystery, a part of it is a mystery, so I'm like, okay, this entails like a longer movie, but then you've decided to make it like really short, which is weird to me. And like I feel like that would have been, I don't know, like especially for a theater release movie, I guess that's my biggest thing.
Yeah,
if it was like a TV movie, I'm like, that's perfectly fine. Like,
I was gonna say, when I watched it made me think a lot of like those TV movie rom-coms or whatever.
Because I'm like, oh, like the point of the story, what usually in TV movies, there's like just one point to the whole thing, so you don't really need to elaborate. So like in that case, it would have been like just them as a couple is the point, but then they like focused on that so much that they just forgot about the plot itself, right? Which is, for a TV movie, that's perfectly fine because people don't really, I don't know, it just doesn't, it's not required.
Those standards are a little bit lower.
Yeah, it is. It's like lower, and then also you're like, this movie was probably made like in like a couple months. Like it's definitely not meant to be anything crazy. Like much thought was
usually those are like lower budget stuff like that. But considering this was supposed to get like a wide theater release,
I
don't know how well it would have done.
I don't know. I feel like I would just prefer to see them in like a normal rom-com at that point.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like I'd want to see those characters, but just in a normal romantic like situation, like without the whole murder. Like if they were going to the dinner party and then like kind of navigating through the relationship, kind of like similar to like the F word or like that awkward moment, like those type of ones. I would have liked that, but I mean, it wasn't bad. Like it wasn't a bad movie.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Like it's definitely not anything. Like
I watched the whole thing with total, like I was totally fine with it. It was funny. I laughed every now and then.
And to me, honestly, it was the third act that fell off. Like I was like, everything was like on track, and then it just went downhill from in the third act. Like the reveal was just lame. So you're kind of like, oh, what? Like this is it. And especially like, for example, the Edie part, like we talked about, you don't know that it's useless until the end. So
exactly. So then you're like, okay, so Edie, literally, what was her purpose?
Yeah.
She was just there to rile them up a little.
At the party, and you're thinking like, oh, she's going to do something too. Like she'll be involved at the party.
Even to me, it doesn't really make sense because isn't the police guy, the cop guy, he's, working for both. So what is she like, I still don't get what those envelopes are. So what was she kidnapping them for? And like, if she's part of the cult, what does that have to do with it? It just doesn't make any sense.
And you know what, actually I think one of the biggest things they could have helped themselves is reveal who bike guy was earlier, so that you could understand who he was. Like if they said like, oh, like you don't know that your boss is like a sex cult leader, they would have been like, what? Like bike guy is a sex cult leader? And then that would have made sense for why, like when the cops go like, oh, we're good, like we caught them, and then they would have been like, yeah, but like if bike guy was the leader, like who was trying to kill him? That makes no sense. And then it could have like spilled over and made more sense for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, but I definitely feel like they needed to finish off Edie's arc, because her story arc, her character arc did not get completed whatsoever.
No, not at all. Like, not even a little bit. Like, she didn't even have the arc of a side character. Like, you know.
No, like, she's literally just there just to, like, I think it was just there for comedic relief, obviously, just for the kidnapping scene or whatever, and then they kind of just forgot about her after, so.
Yeah, I know. It was so weird.
But anyways, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that was our review of the Lovebirds.
I mean,
we hope
I had just a couple. Wait,
we have
not done yet.
I don't know. Oh my gosh, cut that out. I'm a fool.
Yes, go on. You're like, okay, see you next time.
Totally.
No, just a little fun question time. So, like, I just wanted to know, since we were talking about comedy last time, I feel like it's a good way to end off our little 3-part comedy movie series, I guess.
Basically, yeah.
So, like, I guess we kind of touched on this already, but, like, did you find it funny, like, the movie? Like, did you think it was, like, super funny, or was it kind of just like a blow air out of your nose kind of laughing?
Oh, like a... Yeah. No, I did. I think we both found the same scene the funniest, which was the part about the
interrogation.
I thought that was really funny. Like, they're like, oh, they look like a bunch of F boys, and he's like, did I use that?
Yeah.
Which is like, I honestly feel that everybody has a different definition of what an F boy is, and I stand by that. Like, everybody says 10,000 things for that, but I thought that was funny. I like the scene where the cop was looking at them, and then they were really scared, and they're like, oh, he's just like a regular racist. Okay, we're good. And they just kept walking. That was funny. So I did think there were a lot of funny scenes. And I think if the plot was good, I would have even congratulated the comedic timing for not being too extra, because I would have been like, yeah, it's more of a mystery movie, but then it has like the comedy romance on top of it. So I did think it was funny. I think it was a funny movie. Definitely not like, laugh out loud.
I feel like it was more of like thing. It has a lot of that, like,
it's a
awkward humor. It had like a mix of like slapstick and like awkward humor.
See, it didn't have too much slapstick where I was like not a fan of it or anything. Like,
I mean, the only one I could think of was like the horse kick.
The horse, pretty much.
Everything else was like just them being awkward and like arguing and stuff like that. But
exactly. Yeah. And I don't know. I thought it was funny how much Gibran hated Keith. I just thought it was kind of.
I didn't even pick up on that. I didn't even understand who Keith was for like the half of the movie.
I just weird, but I find it hilarious when characters just randomly hate another character for like no reason. They're like, look at him, he's just so gross, and then you see the guy just like being normal, and then they're like, oh,
look at him just sitting there all fancy and handsome.
Exactly. There was like, I forget what movie or what show this was, but there was like a character who was hated another character, but he was saying only nice things about him. Like, he's like, I think I know what you're talking about, and you're a good personality, and he's like, you're just screaming nice things to me. I don't know.
Well, I know that it was used a little bit in Pitch Perfect 3. Like, they had some weird thing where, or not Pitch, I think all of Pitch Perfect 2, where Anna Kendrick's whatever character was always like, you smell like roses or whatever. Like, she's trying to salt it. But it's definitely, it was in something else. It wasn't just Pitch Perfect.
It was. But it's definitely a popular type of comedy, as in like, you try to. And I think it's funnier because I think it moves away from like the whole roasting. Like, people would be like, but like, I think in real life you kind of are like, oh, I hate this person because they're great. Like,
like you're jealous, obviously.
But. Yeah, exactly. So I think I always find that really funny. That's just a random type of comedy. But what about you? What did you think of?
I thought it was pretty funny. Like, I definitely like chuckled, every now and then.
Yeah,
it was like, it was funny. Like, it's an enjoyable movie. Like, it's like a light movie that you can just kind of put on.
It's just, if you don't take it too seriously, I think you have a good time.
It's definitely not like a super serious, like, cinematic masterpiece type thing. Like, it's just like a super chill whatever thing.
I just feel like I was like, I guess my thing was like, if they had literally just tweaked the mystery, I feel like it could have been a really good movie. That's why I was kind of like, aw. Like, y'all could have been, I mean, when you see my grade, but like, I'm like, aw, y'all could have been somewhere else instead of
I mean, if you look at like the on the Wikipedia page, it literally says the film received mixed reviews from critics, although Ray and Nanjiani's performances were praised. So that's pretty much
everyone did say that.
That's pretty much what the consensus is, I guess. They did a good job. They carried the movie on their backs.
They did.
If it was somebody else, I would have probably said it was a bad movie.
Yes, 100%. Like that happens, but that can really like actors can really save a lot of movies a lot of times. You hear a lot about movies where they're like, it was trash, but so and so did a great job. Like you hear that a lot.
Like they did their best. I liked them as characters.
Okay,
okay.
I want to see them again. That's what I said.
That's what I wish they were in like a normal rom-com. I would have liked that.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so my other question, this is just like a fun question, but like, do you think we would win on The Amazing Race?
Oh, that's a good one, Monica. To be honest with you, like Jabron, I've never actually seen an entire episode.
What?
Like, yeah,
I used to watch it TV all the time.
Really.
Like I used to be into it. I've watched like entire seasons. I'm pretty sure.
Oh shoot!
It's
really?
like it's so interesting to watch. I've always imagined myself on it.
I would pull a full Jabron and be like, "We wouldn't win," and they're like, "Have you even seen it?" I'm like, "No."
Oh
but
my God.
I have not
you know
seen
the
an
gist
entire
of
episode.
it, do you?
But I know the gist of it of like you do all these challenges and stuff, and you're racing around like a city or something. To, like, win money in the end, right?
$1 million.
Oh, what? Okay.
Do you think people would go around the world for like $2,000? No. This is serious.
I don't know. I just didn't. $1 million's a lot. Like I thought it was maybe 500 grand. Sorry.
Nope. $1 million.
But
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's $1 million. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. That's a lot. Yeah.
No, I used to love watching it as a kid with my family.
Jeez, I always mix it up with Fear Factor, which is stupid, but that's just a fact. It's just like it was on the same channel, so I was like, oh, those kind of shows. But would we win? I'm gonna be honest. No. Why? My athleticism is weak.
I always think about that. I'm like, if there's one thing that would stop me from winning is my athletic ability.
Like, are you kidding me? My legs are tiny. I would probably trip. It just would not be cute.
But a lot of it is mental, mental challenges too. So
mental challenges.
Because you have like certain, I don't like, again, you probably haven't, because you haven't seen it, you don't know, but there's certain challenges that like only one person can do. So a lot of the teams will have like someone to do the athletic stuff, someone to do the smarts, like the brains.
I see. I think you and I would do very well on any trivia / like any smart game show. I think we would do well. But
yeah, a lot of the times it's just like you go into like the city and it's like you're really like if you want to experience like the cultural aspect of a city, you go on The Amazing Race, because you go like they literally will make you like, I forgot what country they were in, but they literally had to go into like the rice fields and like farm rice, you know what I mean, or stuff like that. Like that's pretty and you have to like fill up a whole barrel. That's like how you finish your challenge. Like it's stuff like that. It's not like they don't set up little games. It's like you go with the actual people and you do stuff. Like I remember some challenges are like food challenges, so you have to go and like eat like weird things. Yeah, like there's a lot of challenges where they've done you have to go like eat bugs and stuff.
Oh,
because you know how it's like a delicacy.
What would be the worst? You know the Filipino delicacy where it's the duck embryo.
Oh, they've definitely had that on Amazing Race. I would be surprised if they
do that on like everything. I feel like I would lose in that part. But
yeah, this is making me want to go watch like an episode. Honestly, I used to love watching it. It's honestly really fun.
That sounds really dope.
It's really cool. Like I don't know. I've always loved competition shows, but like this is like my childhood. We used to watch. I would like root for people because it's like it's intense.
Dang,
because you don't have your phones, you don't have anything.
TV was like Undercover Boss.
Oh my god, yeah. I always remember at the end they always end up at like, I feel like I've seen a couple seasons where they always end up at like at the UN headquarters or some kind of headquarters where there's like a whole bunch of flags and they need to know all the flags or something. What? Because I remember almost every season like they'll come on and they'll be like, we've been studying like flags and like you have to know shit. Like a lot of the times like the clues won't even tell you where to go. You'll have to like ask the taxi cab where it is. Well, it'll say like, oh, you have to go to this place where this one philosopher died or whatever.
But do they know like what city / country they're gonna be in before getting on the show?
I don't think so. No.
Oh shoot, you gotta be.
So they have to like have all their visas like ready and stuff like that. But
dang,
like it's so intense when they like lose their passports and oh my god. You should watch it. It's actually like it's super intense.
That sounds crazy.
Anyways, we're getting off topic.
Being honest, I don't think we would win. But I think we would.
I think if we trained,
be really good TV.
I think if we trained, if we like trained athletic training, if we endurance training, because there's a lot of running. I think we could. I feel like we could be okay.
I mean, like, you know better than me because you've seen it, but
I don't know. I mean, I've always thought maybe I would win, but it just depends on who your partner is too. You need someone who you can like work with. You need someone like you won't argue with at all, or else it just won't. Shoot. It won't happen. Like I
don't know. I'd be cranky when I'm like overheating. So
it's like low key on my bucket list to try one time to go on it.
I want to be on a game show. Period. Like any like because I'm like sometimes I watch it. I'm like, y'all are dumb. Like the answer.
I know.
See this.
Because I sit at the Amazing Race and I'm like, oh my god, like I wish I could yell at them, but sometimes, like I said, it's like they just have to like do some farming, and I'm like, I can't really talk from here. But
yes,
I've always wanted to go on like a show like that.
I know, it'd be dope. All right.
So our grades.
A good question. I did like that. I did like it.
Well, that's what they were arguing about at the beginning, so I figured might as well get into it. So what grade would you give this movie, Anne?
So I gave this movie a B-.
Interesting.
Because my reasons are obviously the mystery brings it down a lot. In terms of, I kind of like put movies at 100 and then start taking points off. That's more how I think about it, I guess, a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I still thought the chemistry between Issa Rae and Kumail was good, and I thought the idea was good, so I give it points for that. And like I said, I think it just started falling off as a third act, so I don't think I can penalize the movie like completely. It's still fun, like we said, still like overall okay. It was close to a C+, but I was like, nah, like I don't see it there yet.
I feel like B- is like, it's like kind of in the middle of all the like grades. It's not, it's like definitely like right in the middle. I would give it a B- too, probably. Because it's like it's just mediocre, you know. It's not great.
The movie doesn't take itself seriously for it to deserve a lower grade. I think that's also a thing, because like, for example, let's say they were trying to be some kind of like critically, like let's say the movie was trying to be artsy, like for example, I would give it a lower grade, because I'm like, okay, first of all, you didn't even work on your craft, and you're gonna try to be serious. Like no, but
just don't do that.
It didn't take itself seriously like that. It just could have been good. Like I feel like it could have turned out like a Pitch Perfect
a little bit.
It was better, like the plot, because Pitch Perfect's plot was interesting. Plus they had a lot of like the comedy, and they also had romance, so I'm like, you could have had like that style, you know.
You can definitely do all of it.
Dedicated to like good storytelling.
Maybe it was a blessing in disguise that it got released digitally, so that they don't have to worry about like getting bad box office.
Really, I wouldn't have liked it, because I'm like, I love Issa Rae, so I
don't want that for her.
No, I don't. And Kumail's Canadian, right? So
is he?
I think so, yeah.
So let me check. Hold on.
I wouldn't want that for him either. So
no, he's American.
Ah, dang it.
So we don't care. No, I'm kidding.
Whatever. But
anyways,
that's
that's all we have for you today. We hope you enjoy it.
Yes.
Follow us on Instagram, Flick Chicks Pod. Subscribe, give us a good review, all that jazz.
Of course.
And we'll catch you next week for our episode, which we have not decided yet, but we will do that.
But it's a general episode.
Yes.
So stay tuned.
Stay tuned for that.
Okay, guys.
Bye.
Bye.